Fan zone out here to the infield of Martinsville Speedway. We got to speak to Christopher Bell. We got to see the activation. We got to see the cars. We got to see the fans. We got to talk to fans, Joe Gibbs Racing fans, Coofandy fans. And now the historic Martinsville Speedway since 1948 has played a big role in NASCAR Cup Series racing. Let's walk around. Let's see what we can run into before the drop of the green flag of the Xfinity 500. I'm John Ramos here with Coofandy, and already you can see the action is starting to pick up. Teams, workers, everyone getting ready, fans on the racetrack. They call it the paperclip for a big reason. This track is formed like a paperclip. Here's the front stretch. Up and down on this grid. Fans have lined up, looking at things, looking at the racetrack. Goes all the way down into turn one. And as quickly as you see turn 1 and 2, the back straightaway catches up on you. A half-a-mile racetrack where you can catch, I want to say about 40 NASCAR Next Gens racing for 500 laps. This is the excitement that we all look forward to. This is why Coofandy is here with Joe Gibbs Racing. The opportunity to win the drive for victory all comes at a track like this. Let's go ahead and take a walk. We're going to go over the history of Martinsville. We're going to go over the excitement of Joe Gibbs Racing. And you know what's so great about this? You never know who you're going to run into. All these workers getting ready because everybody wants to win. 40 drivers on the grid. 39 are trying to make sure Christopher Bell does not go to victory lane. Bell and company are looking to say they're the fastest, they're the smartest, they're the strongest. And we're going to see if they can do that. Let's start over here. These are the tires that will be used for the race. Single lug. Christopher Bell did talk about the next gen. Joe Gibbs talked about the next gen. The next generation car unveiled in 2022. They went from a 5-lug to a single lug bolt through the middle of the car. This is for colleague racing, but it's still the same type of tires that will be used for Christopher Bell. Also, Goodyear brings a brand new tire, a brand new compound per week. We get to go ahead and see what the tire fall off could be today with the cooler conditions. Bob Pockris, he works for Fox Sports, hanging out there, signing autographs for fans. Kyle Larson, he's going to be racing against that of Christopher Bell. A lot have been saying if Bell's going to make it to the championship four, he's going to have to beat Kyle Larson and the HendrickCars.com number 5. Let's continue to walk. Might have to go ahead and get a Martinsville hot dog. That is the most important thing to go ahead and check out at least at some point this afternoon. It's such an iconic piece of Martinsville Speedway. How about that? Chase Briscoe just won at Talladega last week. He is Christopher Bell's teammate. He is locked in to the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. They don't have to worry about winning today, but they would still like to go to victory lane. They have the 7 machine. That is Justin Haley. Next year will be raced and ran by Daniel Suarez. His teammate, Carson Hocevar, drives a 77. This is for Spire Motorsports. Number 3 machine, Austin Dillon. His team is getting ready. They're up and down the grid. Everyone, preparations. This is a pit box. Got timing and scoring so the crew chiefs can analyze data. They can work on strategy. They can check tire wear. They can review pit stops to see if they can make up a half a second. If you can get a 9-second stop on pit road here at Martinsville Speedway and someone gets 9.5, well, that can be the difference between coming in first or second and coming out maybe third or fourth, depending on whether you're on the winning side or the losing side of speed. Christopher Bell did mention in the meeting that last year mistakes were made on pit road, and that was the difference between making the championship four and having to end your season early. Hayek Motorsports, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the 2023 Daytona 500 champion. His team is getting ready. Carson Hocevar, number 77. And come over here. This is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's team setting everything up. If I'm not mistaken, yes, locked into the championship four with his win at Las Vegas. Interstate Batteries, Bob's Discount Furniture, Hamlin and company ready to go. The hot dog stand. I want to point out, I'm going to buy a hot dog on this live stream. As long as we don't look at any of my information on the card, I'm going to try it, and I'm going to give you all the perfect understanding of what the taste is like, and I'm going to rate it 1 out of 10, how good the Martinsville hot dog is. Look at this. You know, you go to big sporting events, and what's one of the cool things about it? You get the food, you get the atmosphere, it's nice, but it's expensive, the food, right? How much is a Martinsville hot dog? How much is a Martinsville? $2. $2 for a Martinsville hot dog. Come on, we can't get any better than that. And it's the best hot dog in all of racing. No doubt about it. This is Christopher Bell. And this is the team all setting up for this afternoon's Xfinity 500. Tires lined up here. We won't touch anything as well, but as you can see, low profile tire, single lug. Those teeth down there, that's how they get that tire to stick on. Crew members with Christopher Bell actually all getting ready. Now, what's interesting about these crew members? Well, the big thing about it, they're also athletes. That is correct. If you're a stock car driver, you're an athlete, you're having to deal with temperatures and G-forces not felt known by most fans or even viewers alike. You know, you can go on a roller coaster and feel those G-forces. They feel great, right? Well, in a stock car race, including at a half-a-mile track like Martinsville, that's tripled, quadrupled, lap after lap, race after race. Every single opportunity, whether you're running the inside, the outside lane, toe-to-toe, side-by-side, whatever it takes. These drivers have to rely on their team. Tires, where? Including at high speeds. Well, how do you get these tires off quickly? How do you put 4 fresh Goodyear tires back on? How do you make a wedge adjustment? What about making a quick adjustment of a tear off? Getting so you can see better on the track, or maybe taking a little bit of tape off the grill. This is where the team comes in. They have to do it quick. So what NASCAR has actually done recently is gone to tracks, yes, or maybe should I say universities, to go in and check out on college athletes that are not going to the NFL. A lot of these athletes that are here, former college athletes from the SEC, the ACC, and now they are pitting for Christopher Bell and the other 39 drivers looking to win the Xfinity 500. We could possibly ask any of them right now and see what college they went to if they are pit crew members. Because guess what? It's heavy. It's 60 pounds. You got to get that 60-pound tire from this wall in about 2 pit stalls. When Bell comes through, you can't just jump over the wall whenever you want. You got to do it within a certain time. Jump on the right side of the car. Single lug in first. Take the tire off. Put the new tire back on. 5 crew members, that's all it is. Go back to the other side of the car, do it again in at least 9.5 seconds. If you can do that within 9.5 seconds, you're looking pretty good there. So you know what? Let's go ahead and see maybe. Let's go ahead and see if we can have an interview. Excuse me. You're with Christopher Bell?
Yeah.
We're here with Coofandy. I have a question. Are you one of the pit crew members? Okay, so we know about drivers being athletes, but a lot of you guys came from college football.
Yeah.
Did you come from college football?
I played college basketball, actually.
Really? What college?
High Point University.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you get drafted by NASCAR?
Did an internship, showed a little bit of interest, and like you said, they were at the time of bringing in athletes and getting over that curve of trying to teach a non-athletic guy how to do pit stops. You get ahead of that curve when you go and get an athlete.
As explained. Thank you so much. Good luck today. And they're going quickly to work. So, yes, once again, I said college football, that's the most notable one, but also college basketball. Starting to see a lot of people from college that doesn't go to the NBA, doesn't go to the NFL. They have an opportunity to come to NASCAR and pit because NASCAR doesn't want to have to just train, non-athletes how to quickly adjust to the high-pressure scenarios versus basketball players and football players. They're forced into high-pressure scenarios all the time. Really, really cool. So let's continue to walk the grid and see what we have to offer. Some RFK drivers and teams getting ready to put everything around. See the Kroger hat on. I believe this could be Ryan Parise, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see if the number is 60 here. It's 17, so that is actually Chris Buescher. 35, Riley Herbst, 2311. So once again, mentioned in the last broadcast, the 2311 team is not the same as the Joe Gibbs Racing team, but at certain tracks, Toyota, which is the manufacturer for 2311, and Joe Gibbs Racing has meetings, so those teams can align together to gain an advantage over Chevrolet, over Ford. So there's been times where Riley Herbst has had to work with Christopher Bell. Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick has had to work with Christopher Bell and the other Joe Gibbs teammates like Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin. Keep that in mind, including if you're watching today, you have other drivers you want to look out for where they're running in the position. Well, no better place to look than possibly 2311 and Joe Gibbs Racing. This is a Ford team. This is the 34 with the Front Row Motorsports. Ty Gibbs, Joe Gibbs teammate to Christopher Bell. They're all getting ready, all setting up Goodyear tires ready to go. 54. Ty Gibbs has not won in the NASCAR Cup Series, but has won at Martinsville in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So going to be really interesting to watch him rock and roll. Cole Custer, the number 41. They got Texas A&M on the car this afternoon. Team's all right to work. Shane Van Gisbergen. He hasn't won an oval race, but oh my goodness, dominant on the road courses this year. Gisbergen running the track house number 88. Going to be very exciting to see what he's able to do at Martinsville. He's gotten a little bit better on the ovals. He made it to the NASCAR playoffs, multi-time winner this year. Always great to see Trackhouse and Gisbergen do what they can. Is this going to be the 9 or is this going to be the 6? No, this is a 60. This is for RFK, and that is Ryan Priest. He has BuiltSubmarines.com on this week. Kyle Busch in the number 8 machine, hanging out. Usually runs the Cheddar Chevrolet. And then we go to another Toyota teammate for Christopher Bell. This is Tyler Reddick. Remember how, if I'm not mistaken, Christopher Bell won at Homestead in 2023? Tyler Reddick, last lap pass into turns 3 and 4 to win at Homestead Miami Speedway last year. He is not in the playoffs anymore. He was bumped out in the previous round, but looking to see if he can possibly end with a strong note and Toyota. So let's talk Toyota for a little bit more. As I said, there's a 2311 alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing and Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs. There's also a Toyota alliance with Legacy Motor Club. This originally was Richard Petty Motorsports and then went to Petty GMS and then rebranded to Legacy Motor Club when Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson came on to form with Richard Petty to keep the iconic 43 number alive. They have since gone to Toyota and is a part of the Toyota alliance with 2311 Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing. This is where you'll see the 43 of Eric Jones and also the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. Sometimes also the 84 Jimmy Johnson when he also wants to race. Ally and Alex Bowman are getting ready to rock, roll, and rumble. This is part of the Chevrolet team. Oh, one of the competitors for the playoffs this afternoon, that is Joey Logano in the Shell Pennzoil number 22. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't say he's in a must-win situation, but he must do very well this afternoon. Going to be fun to see what Joey Logano can do. Christopher Bell would like to keep him out of the playoffs. That 3-time champion is one tough driver to beat. Michael McDowell, the number 71. That is part of Spire Motorsports. They're continuing to hang out here at Martinsville. Josh Berry, winner at Las Vegas earlier in the year. This is with the Wood Brothers, the historic Wood Brothers Racing. It's been around for quite some time. They actually have an alliance with Team Penske, which is aligned with Joey Logano's number 22. Also, you're here at Martinsville. This is the pits. Grandstands rising on the front stretch. Grandstands rising in turns 1 and 2. And then it goes down to the back stretch with some great banners. And then more grandstands into turns 3 and 4. Just take the atmosphere in just for a moment. This is what it's like before a NASCAR race. And not 30 minutes before a NASCAR race, a couple hours. And they're right to work. The pathway to victory starts right when that garage opens at 10:30. Every team, every driver, every crew member, they're either having meetings right now, they're setting up the pit boxes, they're setting up the TVs, whatever it takes to find victory lane. Ross Chastain in the number 1, that with the Busch Light Chevrolet, and William Byron in the number 24. Byron will be racing for a championship today. And we get to see what that's like. You know what, race fans? You don't want to go out to the track. Let's go out to the racetrack. Let's go walk around Martinsville. Go check out Martinsville Speedway a little bit. Let's just take in the view. Look at this. Absolutely fantastic. Just go out on the track. This is the garage area, by the way. This is where some of the cars possibly still are being upkept before they're pushed out onto the grid. And for the ones that want to know what the grid is the starting lineup. 2 by 2 by 2, these cars will line up before the start of a race. So fans, sponsors, teams can see the car, take in the action, take in the views ahead of the green flag. We are here at Martinsville Speedway. Now we are on the racetrack at Martinsville Speedway. So let's go ahead and do a walk around. This is pit exit. The drivers will enter pit road in turns 3 and 4. They will exit pit road here in turns 1 and 2. Pit road, you got to manage 40 cars, right, on a half-a-mile track. It gets very, very tight. So they pit from the exit of turn 2 to the entrance of turn 3. It is non-stop here at this racetrack. Now, Martinsville used to have grass up and down this yellow strip right here. This used to all be grass right here. They have now turned it into concrete. Drivers will get all the way to the razor edge, to the center of turns 1 and 2. Concrete. They'll exit all the way up near the outside wall and continue to carry that momentum. Now, something may have caught your eye. Let's go ahead and walk over here. We are walking on concrete. Well, at Martinsville, turns 1 and 2, turns 3 and 4 is all concrete until you get to the straightaway and it goes to asphalt. Adjusting from the grip levels of asphalt to concrete quickly is what makes this track so interesting, including on a treacherous side where maybe there's more rubber laid down on one end of the speedway than the other. If there is rubber laying down, depending on what type of compound has been brought for this event. Quickly, when you're walking, you can feel a difference from the concrete side to when it goes to asphalt. And when you take the camera and look actually a little bit closer, one looks a little more slick than the other. There are some tracks in NASCAR that are fully concrete. Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee, that is fully a concrete racetrack. Nashville Super Speedway, 1.3 miles, all concrete. And some drivers are better on concrete than asphalt. For Martinsville, they brought the best of both worlds. Let's continue to walk around and head to turns 1 and 2 a little bit more. A lot of setup still being done as Xfinity signs are going up for the Xfinity 500. By the way, for our Coofandy fans out there, does Coofandy look good at Martinsville or what? This is all Coofandy right here. I do have a dress shirt under this. It's a little bit on the cooler side. It's about 46 degrees in the eastern side of the United States. So I have a nice sweater on, my dress shoes, and my dress pants from Coofandy. Under this is a dress shirt. You can't see it right now, but you know what? If it gets to 60 degrees, we'll take the sweater off and you'll see the nice Coofandy dress shirt. Love it. Absolutely fantastic. And the views of this track, there's no bad view at Martinsville. You can sit row 1 off turn 2, still see the start finish line. You can sit on the high peak of turn 4 and still see the action here in turn 2. There's no such thing as a bad view at a short track like this. So very, very exciting indeed. They're not going to allow us to go into turns 1 and 2, at least as of this moment, from the looks of it. But we can go check things out. We're going to start going into the higher details of NASCAR. Once again, the strip. Very few times you're going to get drivers down here. And when you watch the races at Martinsville, it's not really progressively banked. You're not going to have drivers racing up against this outside lane. You're going to have them mostly down here. And the big reason for that, at a track like this, the shortest way around usually is the fastest. But if you watch other NASCAR stock car races, maybe at a Las Vegas or a Kansas, multi-groove racing is possible where drivers will rip inches off the outside safer barrier versus running the inside wall. It just depends on the character of the track. With NASCAR having multiple tracks of variety, multiple strategies, and ways to race a track week in and week out. Okay, let's continue this. We're on full go mode on showing you what NASCAR is all about and about. How about the safety? Notice how I said a soft wall or a safer barrier is behind the camera. This is a concrete wall. Okay, cool, right? Okay, it's a concrete wall. Well, duh, you got to keep the cars in. Well, for the longest, concrete walls were wrapped around all the racetracks until a big breakthrough came through where there was an invention of something called the safer barrier, making the cars safer on impact. When you hit a concrete wall, that energy doesn't really go anywhere. It really is just stuck. And before concrete walls, NASCAR had guardrails like you would see on interstates, but those were too soft and cars would break through them and maybe go into a ditch. When the concrete wall became the idea, well, then they were too hard and, drivers were getting injured and equipment was being really damaged up. So what they decided to do is they combined the best of both worlds. Let's go look at this. This is called the safer barrier. It was originally, I believe, being invented in the late 90s, but it came into full effect at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 2002. This is the styrofoam blocking that is the difference from the concrete wall to this somewhat reinforced guardrail that is a lot sturdier than what you're used to seeing on the interstate. When a driver hits this wall at high G's, breakneck speeds, 120, 130, 140 miles per hour, like you would see here at Martinsville, the car actually goes closer to the concrete barrier because of these styrofoam blocks and because of this reinforced steel. Why? It's absorbing the energy. Before, when it hit the concrete wall, it wouldn't absorb the energy. All that kinetic energy would just go right back to the driver, back to the car. It would enter the driver. This safer barrier has not just saved lives, but has actually saved drivers from getting injured multiple times because all that energy from the speeds of a car uncontrollably hitting an outside wall, it absorbs the impact and it saves the driver from getting seriously hurt. So, revolutionizing racing as well as keeping drivers safe has been a big part of the growth of NASCAR throughout the early 2000s into the 2010s and now the 2020s. Maybe saying, okay, then why is that a concrete wall? Well, usually you're not going to get any drivers running into that wall down there, mainly because when you go into turns 1 and 2, you're into a braking zone. You have all this room from the concrete wall to the corner. Very rarely will there be any type of issue, including at those speeds. We might be able to walk around the track a little bit more, but should we check out the garage? I think that's what I'm very excited for. Let's go check out the haulers. Down there, the official pace car. That is a mid-engine Corvette. I believe that is the ZL1 Stingray. Those will be the pace cars for this event. They'll be pacing the field at a time of caution or before said event. Christopher Bell's hauler is right, as you see, with our great peel from Coofandy, next to Chase Briscoe, next to actually all of his teammates in Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs. So these are the haulers, sorry about that, that go ahead and hold all the NASCAR Next Gens in them from one event to the next. We'll go over here and you'll see the cars. Well, they're sleeping right now because, they're getting ready to thunder out, but they do have the tarps on them right now. You see Christopher Bell's number 20 currently under the wrap. Sorry about that. Christopher Bell's number 20 under the wrap. And this is a way just to keep the car either warm or cool, depending on the conditions of the day. And then when it is time to load this car out onto the grid, they'll take off the covers, and from there, load them on and be ready to go for the afternoon. Not just happening for the 20, but for all the teams. And you can see all the haulers down here, the different colors of what they have. You have the 5 machine in Kyle Larson. You have the 24 in William Byron, the 9 in Chase Elliott, the 48 in Alex Bowman. Penske lineups as well with Austin Cindric. There's also 12 of Ryan Blaney, the 22 of Joey Logano. Fuel cans, you may have seen them, but let's point this out. I am 6'1", and you can see how big those fuel cans are. Quickly injecting fuel, Sunoco race fuels from the can to the stock car. This is actually where you'll see the backwash of some fuel that did not intake into the car. Those fuel cans will be used for every single driver. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. Okay. We're starting to see some blue here, and there's really no chance of rain today. But if the track got damp, this actually started recently. NASCAR has brought an intermediate wet tire for a damp racetrack. Now, they won't race in the rain. If it's pouring, they'll stop the race and wait for the inclement weather to pass by. But at short tracks like Martinsville, and I believe also Richmond, if the track is just damp and the rain has stopped, NASCAR will enforce, and this also works at road courses now, by the way, a radial wet tire so drivers can continue to race on a damp surface, not while it's raining, in a safe condition. This is actually was on display at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, I believe, last year, where it was wet. Drivers were actually going into the puddles to cool down these tires to keep rubber in them. It's very interesting. I don't believe we'll have to use them today, but they're here just in case. Something cool to know throughout the afternoon, and including if you're continuing to watch stock car racing into the near future. Trackhouse Racing has their car covers on currently. They do have the Goodyear tires ready to go. If you have the opportunity to walk up and down the grid, you can see Trackhouse also has hero cards. As we have our hero card here, Christopher Bell signed this one with a little bit of career highlights from 2015 up to 2025. 10 years of action of Bell from his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win. I believe that was at Eldora. Yes, indeed, in 2015. Josh Berry has his Ford Mustang hanging out. Also, the teams, they have their own uniforms. BetMGM is on this week for Kyle Busch, and you can see that they're representing that brand, that sponsor that is coming on for the race weekend. Versus others like Bass Pro coming on for Chase Briscoe. Coofandy coming on for the number 20 of Christopher Bell. Show car on display for the NASCAR Cup Series. Now, NASCAR does not have a sponsor for their main series, but they do have 3 associate sponsors. That would Busch Light, Coca-Cola, and Xfinity. I believe that is AJ Allmendinger. If you're here at the race, you can actually scan that QR code and get on the Jumbotron during the caution flags, which is pretty cool. Some fans have already elected to do so. Things out. Let's go ahead and check some things out. Coofandy activations going on. Oh, look at this. Car covers coming off. Moto Casino with the 77. The 8 machine for Kyle Busch. The 71 Gamebridge. Giving me a Miami Dolphins feel there. That number 71. Ty Gibbs in the 54. Build Submarines. Ooh, Josh Berry. Gotta love that. Number 21. The iconic number 21. Look at all these cars, and we get to see the actual Coofandy car in just a matter of moments that will be used for the 500-lap race this afternoon. Bubba Wallace. Cincinnati. Umar. King's Hawaiian there with the 11, Denny Hamlin. The iconic 5 of Kyle Larson will be battling for a championship spot between the 20, the Coofandy menswear number 20 Toyota Camry. Absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and check out the trailer. And check out. So this is where teams hang out, crew members hang out. This is where the team members and the crew members hang out for the Christopher Bell team. So yeah, pretty cool to see everything on the side with Christopher Bell. We're not allowed to shoot in there. I want to make that very clear, but this is where the teams hang out, prep. It's nice and cool on this side. It's probably nice and warm in there just so they're preparing. Sometimes they have meetings before the race as well. Let's go ahead and look back at some of these cars. This is a NASCAR Next Gen. And once again, mentioning it before, unveiled in 2022. Actually, it was supposed to run in 2021, but unfortunately got delayed just about a year. Pretty cool. Chase Briscoe, you see his number 19, Kyle Larson. Now, how do I know what a playoff driver is if you're watching back at home? So, if you look at some of these spoilers, they're all yellow. The yellow spoiler indicates what is a playoff driver and what is not a playoff driver. Chase Briscoe, he's locked in that championship round. He's going to have that same spoiler color at Phoenix next week. Kyle Larson is not locked in. Christopher Bell is not locked in. Those 2 drivers could lose that spoiler color if they're not above the cutoff line and the fastest 4 drivers heading into the final week. You see the Coofandy Toyota does have the yellow spoiler on it, as well as Denny Hamlin's 11. Hamlin did lock himself in at Las Vegas, so you can expect that yellow spoiler to stay the same. William Byron will be racing for that transfer spot as well. Another driver with the yellow spoiler. Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. Just mentioned about 8 drivers. Those are the 8 drivers racing for a championship spot. And then you go to Bubba Wallace. Oh, should I say Tyler Reddick? That is Tyler Reddick in the number 45. Bubba Wallace is parked next to him in the 23. Spoiler color changes mainly because they are not a playoff driver anymore. Those two did make the playoffs before the round of 16, but were eliminated in the round of 16 or the round of 12. Same with Ross Chastain. No more yellow spoiler on that car. So that's just a way to indicate. I believe they also have a yellow banner at the front of the car that will go ahead and indicate for the ones watching from the front end of the view of the car what is a playoff driver, what is not. So Chase Elliott, NASCAR's most popular driver. Ryan Blaney, the driver that won this event last year. Joey Logano, last year's champion. William Byron, this year's Daytona 500 winner. Denny Hamlin, the driver that has now won 60 NASCAR races, got his 60th win at Las Vegas. Next to Christopher Bell, the All-Star winner this year. And a multi-time winner. Won three of the first four races in 2025. Kyle Larson, the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and Chase Briscoe looking at Chase, his first championship after a glorious win at Talladega last week. So those are the championship drivers. Christopher Bell's Coofandy, number 20. You can't miss it. It's got the sea green in the back. It's got the Toyota logos, the Mobil 1 branding, Reese's white base where you can see where it says Coofandy Menswear. And then the forward number with a little bit of orange and black in it. And actually, if you look really closely, where you see the NASCAR Cup Series logo near the number 20, underneath it says round 8, which means he is a round of 8 playoff driver. Perfect opportunity for Coofandy to come on right when it's crunch time, right? This is when all the eyes are going to be watching to see who makes it on versus who doesn't make it in. Be a big blockbuster afternoon at Martinsville. The sun is coming out. It's starting to warm up just a little bit. Gets me very, very excited for what we have in store. Let's continue to walk around. Let's go for a walk here at Martinsville Speedway. Great racetrack, always fun. Merchandise on display. 99, 88, Suarez, Austin Cindric. Now, maybe saying, oh, why is Austin Cindric's yellow? That's just because he's sponsored by Menards, and Menards approved that yellow for the spoiler. So you can have a different spoiler color, but the actual spoiler color needs to be a certain yellow if you are a NASCAR playoff driver. Cindric is not in the NASCAR playoffs. He was at one point, was bumped out, I believe, in the round of 16. Chris Buescher, there's his number 17. Kroger on board with Core Power. And these teams are now getting to work. Checking into the car, making sure things still work, put some tires on there. Make some final adjustments if you need to. This is not an impound race like you usually see at super speedways. And by impound race, I mean after qualifying or after practice, after a certain point, you're not allowed to work on the car. At Martinsville, you can work on the car post-qualifying. And with the garage opening at 10:30, every single team is at it right now. Moto Casino with the 77. And all these competitors are racing Christopher Bell. We're going to make that very clear. Every single competitor in this field will be racing to see if they can win the Xfinity 500. Just because you're not in the playoffs doesn't mean it's, oh, we're just going to ride around a little bit. Season's going to end soon. Oh, we got Thanksgiving. We got Christmas coming up. Oh, we'll get them at Daytona. No, it is 2 races left, which means 2 opportunities to earn some big bucks and earn a victory at the highest level of stock car racing. That's what they're going for. The Eric Jones Dollar Tree number 43. Is that a Long John Silver's car? I believe it is at number 38. Looking very, very spicy. Do we know where that's at? See them enjoying themselves. Interesting indeed. Jack Links is back with the 47, Ricky Stenhouse. They were on the car at Talladega. The 34, Todd Gilliland. 41, Texas A&M. Aggies ready to roll. Farm Rich. Sorry about that. Active workspace, so much fun. You're always running into people. 51 looking really good. Then you have, I believe that is the 66. Casey Mears is back. Really, really cool. Mears back with the 66. And then you saw more trailers. Look at that. You know how quickly we just went from turn 1 to turn 4? We didn't walk the track. We walked the garage, but you can now walk the track and see some things. You know, let's go for a walk. Let's just walk the track. Got the Coofandy gear on. The sun's coming out. Let's go take a nice walk around Martinsville Speedway. And what's great about this is, I'm going to be honest, I've been comfortable the entire time. Coofandy has been around since 2015. Whether you're a race fan, whether you're just getting into NASCAR, or whether you just love looking your best, Coofandy has the option. Listen, I was never big into fashion growing up, and I've always wanted to look my best at the same time. I never understood how to look my best. And when you look at Coofandy, it makes it very easy for you. The opportunities, well, they're there as it is. For instance, when I was asked to pick some things out, quickly I realized, well, it's probably going to be cold at Martinsville. Let's see what this white sweater looks like. Let's see what this dress shirt looks like. Maybe these dress pants. Maybe they could work well with these shoes that I have. The second I got them at the door, I tried them on. I went, oh my goodness, that was too easy. Because then I was like, well, I got to go to the gym. And I also got some more Coofandy gear where the gym gear looked fantastic. And I went, I'm just going to go to the gym. This is more like a business casual feel. What if I just want to be casual? Just go out. I had to go to a coffee shop, finish some work, put some more Coofandy gear on. Boom. Everything looked fantastic. I was looking my best for every single occasion. They've been around since 2015. Their goal is to make you look your best no matter what, and Coofandy does exactly that. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't checked out Coofandy, go onto their website, check them out on Amazon. They are fantastic for every piece of gear you got. Chase Elliott, he is the final, or should we say, he's the first pit box here at Martinsville. So when they enter pit road right here, exiting turn 4, Chase Elliott, the driver number 9, has to go right there. Boom, in. His teammate, William Byron, by the way, this is a playoff driver, as well as William Byron, a playoff driver. He is the last pit box. So he's not going to pit until turn 1. And he's maybe saying, okay, is there an advantage or a disadvantage? Well, Chase Elliott quickly comes in, but then has a long drive out. William Byron has a long drive in, but he's the first driver out, and pit speed is so important. I believe it's either 25 or 35 miles per hour here at Martinsville. You don't want to be caught speeding, because if you get caught speeding, well, instead of getting a ticket, you get a penalty. So these drivers need to make sure they do not go over said speed limit throughout the event. And for the ones that are new, that is the pit box. Those are the pit signs. These are the signs that the drivers see that indicate where they are pitting. The teams will move it up and down a little bit, trying to make sure they get the driver's attention of, hey, your pit box is right here. Don't overshoot it. You overshoot it, it's a long way out, and it's a long way back in. And it is going to cost a lot of time. You don't want to go a lap down. You don't want to go laps down. You want to have the opportunity to come in. You want to have the opportunity to come out and do what you have to do. Garage 66. That's for Casey Mears, the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Such a great opportunity. 42, John Hunter Nemechek. Look at all those fans hanging out on the grid. I had a pre-race ceremonies. And we have the opportunity to walk the grid right now, just as we are with Coofandy. This is what the drivers see. They'll be up on this side right over here. They'll be hugging the outside lane, looking for their pit stall. This race could possibly go into the evening hours, so they're glowing. A lot of them have those glowing lights. See the 6 have some lights on the outside to indicate, hey, this is where we are. The 5 just has a reddish glow in the middle of it. The 19, Chase Briscoe, a pinkish glow in the middle. So when the night shines bright, the drivers can still see their pit box. Pretty interesting indeed. Really cool, checking everything out. Kyle Larson, teams cleaning everything. Everything's got to look a certain way. Everything's got to look clean. Clean like Coofandy gear. Because if you're going to win, you might as well look good doing it. I mean, that's just how the motto goes at the end of the day. We did see Christopher Bell's passes, as we'll go back over there. On the wall, guys. Checking in behind the wall. As they are doing track inspection. This is inspection to make sure that the grid is A-okay. So we've had the opportunity to walk half of pit road. We have had the opportunity to check in on things. Fresh new tires. Let's see that earlier. Pre-race for the racetrack going on. That is Todd Gillen. We drive number 38, Pickles machine. Now, earlier we came here and they're setting it all up. And now, it's mostly set up. So this is the timing and scoring. If at some point you're walking up and down the grid, you want to see what the timing and scoring is, it is right there. A little bit of highlights from Austin Dillon. This is Austin Dillon's pit box. And some pit indicators a little bit unique. Austin Dillon kind of has that Captain America sign. That's a way to indicate the uniqueness so the driver can identify it with himself and not another team accidentally. We're going to see some others that possibly have a unique look. We saw, I believe, Speedy Gonzalez for Daniel Suarez. A unique identity so the driver and team can see it and not accidentally identify it with someone else. Pretty interesting, pretty cool. How about those hot dogs? And here we go. Now they mostly set it up. Coofandy menswear, top left corner. This is where you're going to see timing and scoring, where Christopher Bell is. If you're watching the race from behind the scenes, you'll see here telemetry. See those TVs right there? When a pit stop is done, Bell goes back out on the track. That whole pit crew, they're reviewing that last stop. Hey, how can we make up a 10th? How can we make up 2 tenths? Did we go too round on the nose? Did we stutter with our step? Did we miss an opportunity when we had the opportunity available? This is what they review, so the next pit stop is faster and better so they can make less mistakes, including during crunch time when it matters the most. So you'll see a lot of people walking up and down. They'll see Coofandy. They'll see Christopher Bell. They'll see all these great things heading into the event. You see the Coofandy men's wear. This is what the teams are wearing, at least as of right now. And there's so much left to offer. So, how about it, Martinsville? How about it, Coofandy fans? You want to dress to impress? Coofandy menswear. That's how it's done. And we'll see if victory lane is possible with the Joe Gibbs number 20. I'm John Ramos. Come on out if you have the opportunity to here at Martinsville, or watch it live on TV with USA or NBC. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and Coofandy will be looking for victory lane.